So I know you wrote an article about Joel Bitonio and new offensive line coach Mike Bloomgren. Take us through that and kind of what you found.
Well, I think the biggest thing I came away with was toughness is something that this team they're trying to instill in this team. I think that's something that they felt like was not the case last year, or at least it didn't show itself in the way the offensive style, the way maybe the offensive line was coached. I mean, Joel mentioned it multiple times. He talked about toughness. He was asked directly about it, and he goes, "Yeah, we need to be tougher." And he attributed part of their 3-14 record last year to the fact that they sort of let it snowball on them. Once the wins didn't start happening, they sort of almost. I don't want to completely put words in his mouth, but it almost seemed like he looked at it and said, "This." We kind of started feeling sorry for ourselves or something. We need to toughen up. We need to get tougher. And then so they make a change, and the two changes they make right after the season ends is offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and offensive line coach Andy Dickerson. And they immediately replaced Dickerson with Mike Bloomgren, who had been the head coach at Rice for like 7 or 8 years, and then prior to that though was with David Shaw at Stanford. But he came with the Bill Callahan stamp of approval, and I think that's big because Jack Conklin and Joel both said the day after the season ended they wanted this team needed to get back to its offensive identity, and that offensive identity was big physical offensive line, clearing the holes on those wide zone runs. Obviously, at the time, I think they thought it was going to be Nick. It's clearly not going to be Nick now. It's Quinshon Judkins, it's Jerome Ford, it's Dylan Sampson. But I think that's what, and Joel, being in those meetings, even though he's not on the field for OTAs, I think he's seeing that it's not just words with Mike Bloomgren. Mike Bloomgren is that sort of old school type of offensive line coach. It's toughness. It's in your face a little bit. It's it's getting the best out of the offensive line because they need to be the meanest group on the field because of what they're asked to do. And I think just in the earlier returns, it seems like Joel really likes not just what Mike Bloomgren is bringing to that position, but I think he really likes just kind of the general overall direction that the offense is going to look with, kind of getting back to the old Kevin Stefanski offense of 2020, 2021, only with a different offensive coordinator with Tommy Reese.